Now, most of us love a good massage, and like to feel good, but should the industry be regulated? Let's find out this morning as we chat with the advisor to the Massage Therapy Association, Mr. Pravin Gopaul. Good morning to you, Mr. Gopaul.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
So far, so good, but I'm very curious. Tell me a little bit about the Massage Therapy Association. What is it all about?
Okay, the Massage Therapy Association was enacted by an Act of Parliament by Act 8, 1998. And what that essentially means is that the government of Trinidad and Tobago has given this body the ability to educate and regulate all massage therapists in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay. So, first of all, to be a massage therapist in Trinidad and Tobago, do you need to get registered with this association to start with?
Yes, you need to be registered, but before you can be registered, I want to discuss a little bit about training. To be a qualified or licensed massage therapist in Trinidad and Tobago, you first have to graduate from an accredited program. And by accredited, we mean accredited either by your individual's country, in this case, Trinidad, the accredited body or the registering body may be the Ministry of Education, ACTT, or the National Training Agency. So you would have firstly had to graduate from a 1,000-hour minimum training program that would have been accredited by your individual country or individual state. Now, naturally, if somebody has the equivalent qualifications internationally from the United States or Europe or whatever, those persons would also be eligible to register. But first and foremost, to be registered or licensed in Trinidad and registered with the Massage Therapy Association, you would have first had to prove that you graduated from a 1,000-hour training program.
And we have many of those in Trinidad and Tobago, the 1,000-hour training program.
We have a handful of them in Trinidad, 2 or 3 programs in Trinidad. What unfortunately, as the association, we are seeing many persons that now with the advent of COVID are running a lot of short courses. And this is one point that we want to highlight. We are seeing a lot of persons that are running short courses, a couple of days, a couple of weekends, whether it be 24 hours, 36 hours. The minimum requirement over the world, a minimum requirement is 500 hours. So realistically, you can't really learn anything in a weekend or 24 hours or even 36 hours. So what we are seeing right now is a lot of persons unscrupulously to try to capture the market, running some what we call crash courses that unfortunately are making persons more dangerous by not providing them with the amount of information that they need to be able to do a massage safely and effectively.
Tell me, what are some of the risks that we run when we go to people who aren't necessarily qualified to do this or not licensed to do this properly?
Well, the major risk that you're running, there are 2 major risks. The major risk that you're running in number 1 is that the massage therapist or the person that you go to may not be able to establish what we call a contraindication. And a contraindication is any condition that you should not massage or that should be approached cautiously. So those things may be medical conditions, whether it be cancer or it may be broken bones, whatever have you. There's a list of contraindications that you should not address. That's one. The other problem that you run into is that the person may not be able to design a treatment program for that person. So let's say, for example, the person is an athlete and they have a hamstring problem. The massage therapist or the person in question that you may be talking about may not have the prerequisite information, namely the anatomy, to understand how the hamstring operates, what is the incision, what is the origin, what is the action of the muscle, and not really be able to effectively develop a treatment plan or develop a SOAP, as we call it, a subjective objective assessment and plan for this person. So what you may be doing in essence is either at best not being able to help this person at all, or at worst making the injury worse.
Mr. Gopaul, tell me something. Is there a difference between doing massage for people like athletes versus doing it for, me after a stressful day, or, the average person who may not be an athlete but still wants to be able to relax their muscles? Is there a difference in the technique?
Yes, there's a huge difference. Just like in the medical fraternity, there are specialists. In the massage fraternity, there are also specialists. So you would have massage ranging from what you were asking me about, which is what we call a Swedish massage, which is something very relaxing and something calming, which is what most of us have seen on television and what has become famous through social media. We have that gamut, and then we have the other end where we have what we call clinical massage therapy, where those massage therapists would have had to go to school and receive advanced training in anatomy and physiology. And there are different techniques, for example, deep tissue massage, myofascial release. There are other techniques like Rolfing. There might be techniques like structural integration. There are more advanced techniques that would be specifically geared towards that.
But either way, you're saying that the bare minimum to be a licensed massage therapist in Trinidad and Tobago is still 1,000 hours, even if you're doing the Swedish massages or if you're doing the deep tissue massages.
Correct. Correct. Now, usually how schooling works is you go to school to receive basic training in what we call Swedish massage. And then that is equivalent to like a general practitioner in the medical fraternity. Then from there, you specialize and get into clinical massage or different, what we call modalities or specialities, where you receive more training, advanced techniques, and then you could specialize and branch off into other different various modalities in massage therapy. So what we are saying is that to the Trinidad and Tobago public, unless your massage therapist or the person you're going to has not received a minimum of 1,000 hours of training, you need to be on the cautious side.
How do I know? How do I know if my massage therapist has received the required amount of training or not?
Well, there are a couple of different ways, but obviously the most obvious and direct ways to ask. Now, as a potential massage client, there are a couple of questions that you should be asking your massage therapist. I mean, you yourself need to conduct a little interview as well. So where were you trained? Are you licensed? What is your specialty? There's nothing wrong with asking those questions as a potential client to make sure that your massage therapist possesses the prerequisite skills to treat your problem or to be able to design a massage that you may be looking for. So the easiest way is to ask.
But is there also like a license that should be displayed or something so that I can verify this information?
Correct. What you should see when you go to a massage therapist's office, and it is law that they should have their license displayed, you should see a license bearing the stamp and seal of the Massage Therapy Association of Trinidad. And obviously, it should include the person's name. And as part of that license in Trinidad, that license has to be renewed every 2 years. So what happens is, even though you are licensed, let's say maybe this year, 2022, as a licensed massage therapist in Trinidad, you are required to do 24 hours of new study every 2 years. So when you do this new course of study, then it makes you eligible to renew your license again in 2024. So in addition to seeing your massage therapist's license, you want to make sure to check the date to make sure it is current as well.
Okay. Well, this is very helpful and useful information. I think definitely Trinidad and Tobago public can benefit from it. Before we go, though, I'm curious, because there are people who have been doing it. I'm not sure, if they're licensed or not, and I never really asked. But, they deal with the herbal aspect of things, including in the massage. So, we have herbal oils and that kind of thing. Licensed massage therapists also do this, right?
Well, that question is a little bit complicated. The rule of thumb is, as a massage therapist, or any professional in our area, you have to operate in what you call is your scope of practice. So to make a long story short, only if you have received training specifically in those areas can you then market yourself as that. Okay. So to answer your question directly, unless that person has not had specific training or qualifications or certification in oils per se, then they cannot and should not recommend oils or be using it, as the case may be.
All right. Well, there you have it. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Gopal, and chatting about this. I think it's very enlightening for us to learn. Yeah, man, very enlightening for us to learn a little bit more about it.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure
enjoy the rest of your day. That's Pravin Gopaul, the advisor to the Massage Therapy Association, and he's letting us know that you want to check with your massage therapist. If you go out there getting massages, make sure that they're licensed, make sure it's an up-to-date license, and make sure that, they are trained properly in what they're going to be massaging you for, especially if you're dealing with recovery of muscles and that sort of thing. It's important.